Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to cover Linux permissions. I'm going to demonstrate how to read Linux permissions, symbolic mode and numeric mode, setting Linux permissions, symbolic mode and numeric mode. I always like to begin with the least used but most reliable source for remembering the ChangeMod syntax, the ChangeMod man page. At the end of the day, if you forget your syntax for numeric mode or symbolic mode, you can always go to this man page. This man page is very technical and not the best read, especially for this command. But if you need a quick reminder of a flag, option, or the value of each bit, the man page is usually the best resource. Also, if you can't remember where in the man page you need to jump to, use the / to search for keywords. Starting at the top, we'll search for keyword numer, and jumping back to the top again, we'll search for the keyword symbol. Here are the permissions for my demo file, myfile.txt. The first field is a combination of file type and permissions, which we will deconstruct momentarily. The second column we'll ignore. The third column is the user owner, the user who owns the file. The fourth column is the group owner, the group that owns the file. We'll skip the remaining columns until the last, which is the file name. Now, we'll head over to our whiteboard and dig deeper into the file permissions. Here is a screenshot of our ls command output. The first three characters after file type is the user permission, and this applies to the user owner column. The next three characters are group permissions and applies to the group owner. So anyone who is a member of this group will be granted those permissions. And the remaining three characters are other permissions and applies to anyone who isn't the user owner and is not a member of the group owner. We'll summarize user permissions with a U, which is very intentional, as you'll see later. Group permissions are abbreviated with a G, and other permissions abbreviated with an O. Numerically, permissions for user owner, group owner, and other are represented by an octal value 0 through 7. We calculate the octal values by looking at each character, and if it's lowercase, the bit is set, denoted with a 1. And a dash means the bit is not set, denoted with a 0. So here, we see the user owner has the read, write, and execute bit set. The group owner has only the read bit set, and other has the read and execute bit set. Using our calculator, we enter the octal value 111 and get 7 for user owner. 100 gives us 4 for group owner, and 101 gives us 5 for other permissions. We then write our values left to right, put ChangeMod in front of it, and the file name at the end. And there you have it. If we want to copy these same permissions to another file, folder, technically speaking, everything in Linux is a file, we would run this command. We'll go back to our terminal for a quick demo. First, we'll remove all permissions from myfile.txt. Then reset them to 745 permissions. As another example, we will create a new file, myfile2.txt. And likewise, set the permissions to 745. Numeric mode is very effective when you know the complete permissions of a file. Complete permissions meaning the permissions for user, group, and other all need to be changed at the same time. However, if you need to remove or add a single permissions bit, say remove the execution bit from other, or just add the execute permissions bit to group, symbolic mode is perfect for these kind of tasks. And we'll go over symbolic mode now. First, let's write down what we need to accomplish. For other permissions, we are going to remove the read and execute bits, which is denoted with the minus sign. For group permissions, we are going to add the execute bit denoted with a plus sign. And for user permissions, no change. Now we build our commands. For other permissions, change mod o dash rx file name. And for group permissions, change mod g plus x file name. Now let's test it. Our permissions should still be 745 for both files. We'll run our first command against myfile.txt. And we can see that the read and execute permissions are gone from other permissions. Now we run our second command. And we can see the execute permissions have been added to group permissions. Now here's a bonus tip. You can actually combine symbolic mode commands, and I'll demonstrate against myfile2.txt. For some extra practice, what would our new permissions be in numeric mode? If you said 750, you'd be right. One thing I didn't mention, depending on the type of file you are working with, file or directory, certain permission bits need to be set to get very specific results. For example, you have to set the execute bit on a directory to be able to cd into it. The read permission bit doesn't do this. I didn't cover that here because of 1, time, and 2, once you know how to read and set permissions, learning which specific bits you need to set for which file types can easily be researched and is more of an afterthought, in my humble opinion. Thank you and have a great day.